I have one life, and I live it how I choose. I don't even know why I'm recording. I mean, I do know why I'm recording this video, but why do I need permission to film myself, record myself? Why am I so afraid to show the world who I am? What's up with that? Am I not worthy of being my true self? Why do I feel so odd, so pushed down? I don't need recognition to be who I am, and yet I fear criticism to an extent that seems unreasonable based on the confidence that I exude as who I am in my day-to-day life. I've been asked a few times over the years, do I even know who I am? And the answer from my gut is yes. And it's always, I am who I am. I am who I portray myself to be. I'm not one to wear a social mask in a lot of contexts unless it's really important. Because, the more authentic I am, the more I know if people actually like me for who I really am, not so much, a picture of what they'd like me to be. I used to do that, and over the years I've kind of let go of that mask because, well, what's the point? I mean, I don't fear rejection. Yeah, I don't fear rejection. I mean, everyone fears rejection. Even me, even though I say I don't. It's more like the fear is there, but I push past that anyway. I don't let the boundary stop me from being fully authentic. Because I've learned that the punishment that comes from social rejection is not the end of the world. I've had it through my whole life. I've lived it, I've experienced it regularly in my life, especially when I was younger. I had very few friends because I was myself, I was silly, and I was odd and out there. And for some reason, I just kept doing it anyway. And obviously, it must have been something with my upbringing, because why else would I do that? What person shoots themselves in the foot? Yeah. It doesn't make rational sense to do that. Or maybe it does, and maybe I'm not the crazy one. Maybe everyone else is. I don't know. But that in itself sounds crazy, because, yeah. I hate looking at myself in the camera because I feel like... because it makes me judge myself, and I know the camera's not an accurate depiction of what I actually look like. I mean, it's an approximation, but it's not exact. And I hate how it kind of it's a fisheye lens, right? Anyway, I told myself that I would start doing YouTube videos again. So here I am doing videos again. I don't know if I'm going to upload this video because it's just the first time me pressing record in 5 years or whatever, but what's the worst that could happen? More social rejection? No one looks at my stuff? Who cares, right? I mean, nothing to lose, everything to gain. I mean, what's going through my mind right now? Oh, I look kind of fat. Oh, I know I'm not fat, but, I have there's a certain, not aspect ratio, but there's a certain, appearance I try to aim for. And the camera kind of doesn't do it justice. It makes my cheeks look more puffy, and it kind of shows my laugh lines and whatever, right? That's part of getting older, I suppose. But, to the best of my ability, I've tried to minimize the appearance of aging. And that's another conversation, I suppose. what does it take? I mean, no, I feel okay with who I am. I really do. What does it take to become your best self? I always try to be my best self. And it's... sometimes I'm amazed at the fact that I do it, because you know how it is. You can't witness yourself from another person's point of view as much as you may say you can from, you know, the third eye or the perceiver or whatever. You never really know how it comes across from another person's point of view unless they tell you. And even when they tell you, things are lost in translation, because you can only put so much through communication verbally that is lost when you're actually like experiencing with all the five senses. I don't even know what this ramble is about. I'm just saying what comes to mind, because why not? Yeah. It'd be nice if the camera was a little better, right? More centered on me. I don't know. Can't really do it because it's literally just sitting in my freaking vent. You know, it's from the dollar store, so whatever. At least you can hear me and kind of see me. I guess I'm just at that point where I realize, well, I've heard it a couple of times, like in other videos I've listened to, or other audio things I've listened to. What was it Confucius said? We all have two lives, and the second one starts when we realize we actually only have one. I'm kind of at that point where I'm just not giving a fuck, because I realize how raw and authentic I should be based on the fact that I'm going to die one day, and that's a real concrete fact. And it's not going away. No matter how much we advance technology, there's always going to be a risk of death. I could die right now. My car could explode, you know, like literally anything could happen. Anything. Sometimes I think I'm crazy. I think I'm just going to leave the thing on record for the duration of this trip here. I'm just going from work to my house. Yeah. If I had a message to share, it would be that you shouldn't waste your time worrying about what everyone else thinks. That you should be authentic from the get-go, despite the rejection, despite the hardship. Because in the end, the people who stick around, which will be very few, if not none, the people who stick around will be the real deal. They won't be fake. They won't have this bullshit, because if you're authentic and you don't put up with things and you have your boundaries, the only thing that's left is for them to accept them or move on. And those who don't move on clearly accepted them, because otherwise they wouldn't be in your life, right? Yeah. I'm done fitting into everyone else's categories just to get along, just to feel okay with myself. I'm okay with myself, and I have been this whole time. I don't know why I have this need to fit in all the time, even though I don't act on it. It's always there in the background, and I just don't care. I get along now because when I do get along, it's because it's just for the sake of getting along. It's nothing more than that. It's not for me to feel okay with myself. It's just to continue the conversation, continue the whatever I'm doing. You know, if it's work, it's to, you know, do better at work or form a more concrete relationship that benefits both, or benefits all. Sometimes I wonder if people think I'm mysterious. Maybe they don't care. Maybe I only care because it's my own head I'm thinking about. Like, maybe I'm just thinking about me and they're thinking about them, and that's the extent of it. I don't know. It's kind of nice to just vent, though, and not have to preform. I mean, I don't do this very often, but it's weird. I know I'm kind of just talking to myself. If I upload this to YouTube, suddenly I'm not just talking to myself, which is the weird thing about it, right? Because I'm technically talking to nobody unless I upload it. Then I'm talking to whoever watches it. So, hey, if I do upload this and you're watching it, cool, hi. I don't know. There's something exciting about that. It's nothing until I decide it's something. And then when it's something, it could be anything. It could be anything. The potential is there for it to be anything. And I know I'm not a stupid person. I know I can, have meaningful conversations with people because I do it all the time. I find that people are afraid of the topics that I bring up. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that we're going to die one day. Or if they do, it's never for long, or there's no depth to it. You know, you can see people's eyes glaze over. And I'm not obsessed with dying. It's more just, it's the final destination. And if you don't constantly focus on the fact that it ends one day, you lose that little spark that makes every freaking moment as much of a punch and as meaningful as it can be. Because you lose sight of the fact that the ride doesn't go on forever. If the ride ends one day, every moment is precious. Every moment is precious. Doesn't matter what you're doing. And it's always, I've kind of figured this out over the years, no moment is any better than any other moment because it's always just going to be through the lens of your personal experience and your perception. And those are pretty much always the same. Unless you're on drugs or something, it's always you perceiving the moment, no matter what it is, good or bad or neutral, whatever. You're getting married, someone died, it doesn't matter. It can always be the best moment of your life, and you might as well make it so, because if you don't, you're missing the fact that one day you're going to die, and you will have taken for granted the fact that this moment was part of your unique experience on this planet right now, right here, right now. I'm just going to upload this video and see what happens. I think I might start doing this every day when I drive home from work. Maybe over time I'll develop a clearer vision of what I want to do with this content. But for now, I'm just going to speak. And on the off chance that someone sees it and it resonates with them, maybe they'll mention it, maybe they'll say something in return, and maybe I can go back and forth with that. So, on the off chance that whoever you are, if anyone exists that sees this, watches it, on the off chance that you decide to watch it and comment something, then maybe there's an opportunity to have a conversation or something. To me, the things worth talking about are the things that people avoid, because they avoid them for the very reason that they know that it's like their deepest, darkest fear. I don't know anybody who's not afraid of death, or I don't know if it's like an IQ thing or what, but I find a lot of people don't want to have meaningful, deep discussion. It's just top level, ego-driven bullshit. There's not a whole lot there. Sometimes I wonder if I've even been through an ego death. I don't know if I have. The fact that I say I, right? I know the distinction between the observer and the other I, the person speaking or whatever, but yeah. I keep saying but or yeah, it's just pauses because I'm not This isn't a prepared conversation. It's off the cuff, right? There's no formatting. It's literally just raw dogging it. Hey, I love that term, raw dogging it. There's something so it's sexual, but it's like also just, I don't know, cool. Yeah, man, I was raw dogging. I don't know. Maybe it's explicitly a sexual thing that people say. I don't know. Whatever. I don't use it in conversation very much because I assume it's kind of taboo or awkward or weird. Yeah. There's the but yeah again. I wonder if when I turn this video off and I watch part of it back, if the audio is even understandable or it's loud enough. Maybe the car is so loud you can't even hear me speaking, right? Who knows? I don't know. It's a big fucking hill. Well, if nothing else, this can be just a way to vent. Maybe I'll just say whatever's going on in my day, and then I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if it's because of loneliness or maybe I hope it becomes something more. Part of me just wants to see if anything happens with it. Do I have the cojones to even upload the video and risk being chastised for something stupid I said? I don't know. I guess the worst that'll happen is that'll be it, right? I'll be looked down upon, whatever that means. Nothing serious. I'm used to that anyway. Roads lead to Rome. Everyone reaches the final destination one day. That's one way to put that. Although that saying can be used in many different contexts, not just that. All roads lead to Rome. All expressions reach the same conclusion given enough time and development. There's only so much you can talk about, I would think, but then again, we're limited in our understanding and we're limited in our ability to remember and recall topics, so I guess you could rehash the same conversations multiple times and from different angles and whatever, but I'm trying to think what would be a good topic to discuss. It was instilled in me as a child to be the best that I can be. And as I grew up, I realized that it wasn't just for the pleasure of my parents, but it was for me, it was for my family, and then to the extent that it reached outside of just that walled garden, whoever it touched, it benefited them as well. Because when you're a light unto yourself, you can then be a light unto the world. And that's kind of that religious idea, right? Be a light unto the world. Be a bright spot in a sea of darkness, or in a sea of dimness, whatever you want to call that. If you have the courage to move through life in a way that's honest and sincere and doesn't betray you and therefore your reality, then no matter what happens to you in life, you can at least say, hey, I was true to who I am, and to the extent that that resonated with others, I did my job, I did my part. There's something about there's something about that ties into responsibility. I'm not sure exactly how it's connected. Maybe it's just the fact that it's no, I don't know actually. There's something about that. Maybe I'll call this nuggets of wisdom. I mean, who am I to say it's wisdom? But, in my book and in my own life experience, firsthand, I would say a lot of the things I want to share are wisdom to me, so maybe they're wisdom to other people too. I don't know. I guess we'll see what comes of it, if anything. Going back to what I said earlier, I'm kind of getting to a point where I'm not really giving a fuck anymore about other people's expectations or opinions of me. And I'm starting to lose my fear of rejection. I dated a woman for the first time my whole life. And it was great when it was great, and then it wasn't right for me. She wasn't the right person for me. And I ended it, and it was bad when I ended it because she really didn't like that. Because I was giving my all, so she told me it was the most impactful, meaningful relationship she had with a guy. And the way it ended, she tried to make it seem as though she rejected me. Yeah. And my biggest fear, I'm sure this is familiar. This is a familiar story for a lot of guys, but the biggest fear for me, I thought, was rejection from women. I really thought that's what it was, because to me, as far as I can tell, the meaning of life, at least biologically, is to reproduce. And if you're judged or rejected based on that kind of stuff, then you lose out on that lottery, right? But no, I have no fear anymore. That was kind of the last pillar of fear that I had. It was this dragon I had to conquer, I had to fight and kill. And I got the treasure. And now I feel more whole than I've ever felt. Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to stop and smell the roses, as it were. Just to appreciate a moment as it passes you by, as you experience it in real time. There are times in my life where I'm so preoccupied with what's going on in my day-to-day that I kind of lose sight of the present moment, and that can really fuck a person up. I don't know. I think a lot of people are on autopilot most of the time, and this person I was with, she definitely was one of those people. And that was a big reason it didn't work, is because we couldn't get on the same page about priorities and living holistically and presently, and not fearing rejection, which was one of the main themes. And then it became the main theme at the end because, well, like I said, she wanted the sting of rejection to hurt me, but it didn't, because I had already fought that battle in my mind, and I knew at the end that there was nothing that any other person, let alone woman, could say to me that would take away from my sense of self. I am whole. I've been whole this whole time. I am who I am. I am that I am. I've always been enough, and I always will be enough. Because I'm here, and I exist, and my experience is whole. There's nothing to take away. There's nothing to withdraw. I mean, is there anything to be added? I don't know. I mean, the fundamental experience is always going to be the five senses, and they're going to decay over time as I age. Maybe there's more to it than just that. Maybe the sense of awe is always going to be that climax of, or that peak experience that we never lose sight of. Part of me wonders, maybe when we die, it's just euphoria all the way. Maybe the sense of awe, maybe you meld into the sense of awe and you become part of that landscape, that fabric that makes the experience possible. I don't know. I know this conversation is kind of all over the place. I don't know if there's any coherence to it. I mean, there is, but I had no idea where this conversation was going to go. I'm kind of enjoying where it's going now. Whatever. I mean, I'm almost to my place now, but this has been different. I think I'm just gonna be ballsy. I'm just gonna take some courage, and I'm gonna upload it. We'll see what happens. I mean, the worst that'll happen is nothing, or the worst that'll happen is someone will leave a snide comment and shoot me down for whatever that's worth. But like I said, I know who I am now, and I'm whole, and I don't need anyone else to tell me who I am. Not that I don't need it, it's more like it wouldn't make a difference because I'm grounded in the seat of self. Yeah, I know who I am. My name's Jonathan. Nice to meet you, on the off chance that you see this. Thanks for listening. If you do. If anyone's out there. Cool. May you be blessed always. Thank you.